Hey friends, welcome back. I am back to drop in for another video. I have been wanting to do a video series this week because I am training for the Chicago Marathon and approaching my 20-mile run this weekend. So wanted to do some tips for you guys about how to feel your best during marathon training. And on Monday, I gave tip number 4, which was about compression socks, one of my favorites. So I have a really good tip for you today that I know is going to make a huge difference in your marathon training or any other training that you might be doing. So I'm going to give you a few stories to help illustrate why I think this tip is so huge and how it's been so impactful for me, and I know it's going to make a difference for you. So first story is about myself. I was training for the LA Marathon in 2017. And early on in the training, I started to get like pain in my hamstring, and it was just always tight. It felt like a strain every time I would run. It bothered me when I would try to stretch or do yoga. I really felt it, and it always just felt tighter. I was using at work. I would have physical therapy students come and massage it or use tools on it or just try to like break it up in the tightness that was in there, and nothing really worked. So I was able to still run, and I ran the LA Marathon with my hamstring just really bothering me, and I kind of felt like maybe after running the marathon it would get better and sort of go away, but it didn't. So fast forward, I was going to take a course from Dr. Chris Powers, and it was about treating injured runners. And I have taken Chris Powers' courses before, and I know him very well because we rent space from his clinic at my work. So I took his course, and sometimes you just have to hear things a different way or at a different time for them to like really click. So I was listening in his course, and he talked about when a runner feels like there's a muscle that's really tight or strained, it's overworking. And the reason it's overworking is probably because it's doing the work of a different muscle that should be turned on. And most often with Chris Powers, it's the glutes. So it made a lot of sense. Like, okay, if my hamstring is really tight and tense and always feels painful, it's probably that I'm using too much hamstring and not using enough glute. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna really listen to Dr. Powers here and try his glute activation training and get my glutes online and see if this is what the problem is. So the start of his program is really about activation. So there's a difference between being strong and having like the muscles activated. So you can have strength, like my glutes weren't necessarily weak per se, but they weren't being activated at the right times to be used when I needed them and running, and it was causing my hamstring to overwork. So I did his activation plan, and I was like, I'm going to do this for 7 days, his program, and then see what happens, if I really notice a difference or not. And so I did his glute activation plan, and my hamstring pain went away. And so I've been training now for the Chicago Marathon for several weeks, and I no longer have any hamstring pain, and it doesn't feel tight anymore. So it really works. So so that's my convincing story as to why glute activation is a huge benefit for any runner, and why I think you should all try it. The next story is even more convincing. So my husband has always been active, and he's been an athlete his whole life. Loves moving and running especially. But fast forward, he, over the years, had some injuries and ended up needing knee surgery 2 times on his left knee and ankle surgery on his right ankle. And, was told, like, you shouldn't run. Running isn't that good for you. It's going to be too painful. Like, it's going to hurt your joints, whatever, everything that you hear. But he actually did have a ton of pain. Like, he really couldn't get up in the morning. He had pain. Walking on the beach was painful. So, it was really uncomfortable for him. And so he ended up seeing one of our really good colleagues, an awesome therapist, John Meyer. And John took a look at his running form and his movement and strength and gave him a really good strengthening program that included a lot of glute exercises. So Oscar started doing those glute exercises, and he was able to build himself up to running 5Ks. And so he was able to run a little bit. He still had pain sometimes, and he couldn't run 2 days in a row because sometimes it would be too painful. So he's getting better. Then fast forward, he comes to the Injured Runner course with me with Dr. Chris Powers, and he had his running videoed and analyzed, and he, heard the literature, the evidence about glute activation and glute strengthening, and started doing the activation plan as well. So he was doing these exercises every single day to get his glutes activated, and now he is signed up and training for an Ironman 70.3 and is able to run now, no pain. He just went out the other night for 10 miles and ran without any pain, and that just was unheard of a few years ago for him to even be a possibility. So if that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. Like, having glute strength and glute activation is so helpful. It can turn you into like feeling like you're not able to do something at all, like running, into actually being able to do the things that you enjoy doing. So I personally hate when I hear that someone said that they're never allowed to run or do anything again, because I feel like there's probably always a way to get there. But anyways, that's a side note. So you're probably ready to hear what are these activation exercises. So I want to tell you so you can try them out yourself and do them for at least 7 days. Now, if you have pain and you're injured or something like that, definitely go see a physical therapist. Like, I'm not trying to give medical advice per se, but see a physical therapist, get your running analyzed, get your movement analyzed, and get on a plan that works for you. But otherwise, everybody else really try these activation exercises, and you'll be convinced at how helpful they are too. So what you need is a loop band, and there's 4 exercises, and 3 of them are for the glutes and 1 is for the core. And these are activation exercises, and what that means is you're really trying to activate your brain, connect brain to glutes, and just strengthen that so that they can turn on and work when you want them to work. So you're going to do them every day, and you're going to be thinking about them while you do them, not like daydreaming. So your brain is involved as part of this. So you take your loop band and you put it above your knees, and you're going to get a color that matches the resistance that you need. I'm on black because I've been doing these for a while now, and my glutes are getting stronger, so black is the hardest color, but get whatever color you need. The first one is the fire hydrant. So you're going to come on all fours, and you're going to lift one leg up, out, and back. And you're going to hold it for 60 seconds, maximally stretching the band the whole time. So you want to be able to feel it in your glute the whole time. You're going to do 3 times on each side with 60-second holds, okay? So it's going to burn. The next exercise is a clam. So you're going to be on your side. I don't know how much you can see me. You're going to be on your side, feet together, and you're going to lift your top leg, and you're going to stretch the band as much as you can stretch it, and you're going to feel it in your glutes, and you're going to hold 60 seconds, 3 times each side. Okay, so all of them have that. And then the third glute one is staying on your side. Make sure your hips are level. Straighten out your top leg and make it kick back just a little bit, and then lift it up in the air. Stretch the band maximally so you feel it in your glute, and you're going to hold it 3 times. 60 seconds, 3 times. Okay, so those are the 3 glute activation ones. Can take off the band, and then the last exercise is a plank. So you can do your plank however you like to do it, with your arms straight or on forearms, and you're going to hold that one for 60 seconds and do it 3 times. So all of them are the same protocol. 60-second holds 3 times. Do all these exercises. You're going to definitely feel a difference. They're going to burn. It's going to feel good. Now, with the way that these work, you would think that this is like a freaking magic bullet or like some kind of miracle, and it really is. I swear, it is. If this were a surgery or a pill, it would be worth like $1 million. So the good news is it's not that, and you can do it for yourself, and you're really going to feel a difference. So that is my number 3 tip, and I feel like it's a really, really good one. So I'm excited to continue sharing the next 2 tips that I have for you guys this week on how you can feel your best. And like I said, leading into my 20-mile run this weekend for training for the Chicago Marathon. So it's a really big training week, which I'm excited about. And I am running this marathon for a nonprofit called Girls on the Run. And I would love your support with them. They provide leadership training and empowerment and running and education to girls. So it's really a really great cause. So thank you so much for joining this video. And if you think someone would benefit from this, or if you feel like you've benefited from it, you can make a comment, you can share, like it. And I hope that you find it very helpful. And I will talk to you guys later.